Welcome back to Mysterious Adventure Tours, exploring the mysteries of Ireland's Halloween. And sorry for the mishap. I don't know technically what happened. My Facebook wasn't jiving with our where our StreamYard. Things like that happen. But you know what? I'm a woman and I can resolve this. And we are surrounded by wonderful people that make sure that we are taken care of. So sorry for the disruption. We're going to make this even better for you. And this week, we are going to take you to Ireland and how it's celebrated during Halloween. Of all the bucket lists that I have in my life, to go to Ireland on Halloween, where first it was conceived, is my true wish. And we are doing it this year. And I'm inviting all my friends and foes to come along with us. We are going to Ireland this Halloween. And yes, we're going to have fun because this is where Halloween started. A thousand years ago, in a county of Meath, Samhain was conceived by the Celts. It was a celebration of the end of the harvest. It was also a day to stop the bad spirits from coming into their lives. The Druids and the Celts got together, created firestorms in order to ward off all these nasty little things and creatures of Ireland. Today, that continues on. The traditions and the cultures of Ireland are very much loved, very much respected, and very much celebrated. And we hope to be part of that this year in 2022. Just a few months from now, we'll be celebrating Samhain, Halloween in Ireland. And I want to introduce you to a pair of young women that I absolutely adore. I couldn't choose anybody more special to bring you to the magical island of Ireland than the Daughters of Hecate. And there they are.
Oh, we're so excited about this. We've been sitting there like bouncing, but we're doing it again.
We're so excited about this. And thank you so much for joining us. Michelle Roos and Katarina Cirillos, welcome aboard. And welcome to my world of Ireland during Halloween.
Oh my gosh. I feel like a child. I'm ready to go,
It's all those little fairies, pixies, gnomes, imps all around that are going to be there.
Everyone, even vampires. Let's not forget the vampires.
And banshees.
Leprechauns, etc. And if you read about these creatures, they're to be respected. I'm not playing with them. I'm not going to deny their existence. Not in a long shot.
Especially the banshees.
Especially the banshee. Wow. And also we've heard about her puka. So because that's a little bit more even dangerous than banshee. Banshee tells you you're gonna die, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Puka makes you die. So it's quite a difference there. Yeah. Typically, unless you throw her pennies and make her happy. And respect her. respect her.
Yes.
All these are elementals. They're not different than our culture, right? We have lots of
Mm.
elementals in our culture. What makes it different in Ireland?
I think because they celebrate them and they give offerings to them. You know, we have a lot of people that, you know, we believe in the fairies and things like that. We do like, you know, little fairy gardens and things. Well, when you're going to Ireland and stuff, when they have a fairy garden, they actually put wine out there. They put breads out
And
there
honey
and honey.
and nuts.
So they always respect
Mhm.
because, you know, that you will get good fortunes. And when I mean that is like health and different things like that. But then if you stop doing that or showing your respect or celebrating them, then that turns to the dark side.
Mhm.
Also, when you're finished with the offerings, you don't throw them, you don't bury them, you put them in the crossroads where all four corners, the north, the south, the east, the west, which represents the four elements.
Mhm, mhm.
So
Exactly.
that's your
Exactly. And
offering.
I see that you have exhibits of the elements that
Yes.
create these
Mhm.
elementals. Explain that to me, Catherine.
That's the um that's the west. You always That's the west, which is the water element, which is in some cultures it's called the sylphs. No, sorry, the undines. And then we've got the sylphs, which represent the element of air, which is on your east. We've got the salamanders, which is your south, which represents fire. And then you've got your gnomes, which represents the earth element. And that's your north.
Mhm.
Did I say that north already? Yeah, the north.
Yeah, the north.
Yeah. Yeah. And
We'll be
actually,
traveling all around.
when you're saying that, I remember seeing some pagan type of Celtic chants
Mhm.
that
Yes,
include the elements with the
Hmm.
east, west, and north and south
Exactly.
compass. So it's totally universal. But one
yes.
thing is special about Ireland, that it is something that is continued to be celebrated and respected and kept alive.
Hmm.
And it's part of their culture, isn't it?
It is.
Mhm.
Here it isn't really much, and so I'm sure the elementals are a lot happier living in in Ireland than they are here with us, and that's why probably they're so much more pronounced out there.
And that's why they celebrate it with, because Ireland is full of water. So there's your element of water. Then you've got the
Yes.
earth there, right? Which is the mountains where they're celebrating everything. Then you've got your fire celebrations, which we will see through Puka. And fire is also used with the Hecates to guide the spirits through the other side. And
Hmm.
then you've got the air, because you'll see it, and there's winds that come right, left, and center from everywhere in Ireland in the center. So it's you've got all your elements in one.
Right. And
There you go.
that's absolutely perfect. A
Hmm.
perfect breeding petri dish for all these
Exactly.
Yes.
wonderful things to do happen. And I want a few minutes, which I didn't do before, and I regret it. And I'm so happy that we got a new opportunity here to broadcast, this time with more honor and videos. Would you introduce yourselves? Because I'm not sure if everybody knows about why I love you ladies.
You can go first.
We're actually the daughters of Agate.
Hmm.
We both do our own things, but what we found out is, you know, a lot of times when you come together, it becomes more powerful.
Hmm.
I am actually a demonologist. I am the first woman who's been inducted in the Worldwide Society of Exorcists, and I am a trans medium. We both kind of see the same things, but she's able to see more of the light. I see the dark. And as we go together, we can actually see them together. So I also get part of the light and she gets part of the
Part of the dark.
dark. And what that does, it also helps as we work with the crossroads with Agate, how we're able to open up these journeys that we're going on with you to open the lands and open everything that earth has given us to let people actually experience what we do. And so even though we're really great by ourselves, we are
You're a
Together.
together.
powerhouse
Yeah.
Yeah,
together.
it's powerful.
And let me tell you, I know the difference. And these
Yeah.
ladies absolutely astound me every single time. And their magic is the fact that they are combined together.
Mhm.
Catherine, or I like to call you Katarina because you are
You do.
Greek, right?
It's
Tell me
Okay.
about Ekate.
My,
Who is she?
uh, um, she is the mother of all children. She is the guardian of the dogs. She's the mother. She's the daughter. She's the crone. She gives you the knowledge. She protects you. She's the key holder that opens up all gateways.
She's magic.
Um,
She's magic.
she's one of the she was the titan that was allowed to roam the earth, the underworld, the
Mhm.
skies, and the water. So she's got all the elements as one.
How perfect for a mysterious adventure tour
Yes, it
to
is.
bring
It is.
to be part of the Ekate bliss of her
Mm-hmm.
explorations and her
Mm-hmm.
facilitations of us doing this together.
Yeah.
Um, Remarkable, it is. And she is all about magic, and
Yeah.
magic is all about you ladies. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce one of our first stops that we're going to be doing during our tour, to a place called the Hill of Ward. And on the Hill of Ward, there's a big celebration. It's called the Puka Festival. Now, we're going to go back to what Puka is all about and why it has such a permanence in Halloween in just a few minutes. So let's enjoy this for a second. Wow, wow, wow. It's more than just an experience of Halloween, it's an experience of life. It's got music and the arts and, the ceremonies of the old Celtic pleas to ward off evil spirits and to work with Puka in order to have Puka be their friends. And Puka is a very, very special elemental.
Mm-hmm.
Some call her a fairy, but she does a transitioning, doesn't she?
Mhm.
She, what do they call them again when you change?
Shapeshifters.
Pardon me?
Shapeshifters.
A shapeshifter. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know if you're talking to Puka or not. Or and she does talk to you. She doesn't hide under a tree like most of little fairies do. She does come and confront you, and she'll
Yes.
tell you whether she likes you or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be she's very temperamental for that reason. That's why they actually made this festival for Puka, trying to keep Puka happy. So
Mm-hmm.
lots of fire. Fire is an elemental, right?
Yes.
Yes,
You
and
mentioned.
also the like we said with Agati, she's the torchbearer that can guide the souls through the other side, and that's why they do the celebration. And that's another thing that one of my abilities that we're talking about abilities is being able to open up gateways. So we're going to have a lot of gateways open that night.
Oh my Lord, that would be wonderful. I'm just like, oh, shiver, 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 shivered. Yes, and for those that don't know, that Ireland is the birthplace of Halloween. It is called, I always have a hard time pronouncing it, but it's called Samhain. And Samhain is the actual word of Scottish that means Hallows Eve. So it does have a lot of permutation all over the UK, obviously, and even parts of northern France. So this is not all just Ireland. It's all over where the pagans penetrated all of Europe. But the concentration, the celebration, the traditions, and the culture have been preserved in Ireland. So as we go through Ireland, ladies, and this is going to be really interesting, right? We're going to go over from the ancient East, which is where the Puka Festival is at. And there we're going to take place with the Hill of Tara, which is another magical place. It's full of witchcraft there. It's extremely powerful. And then go to a couple of castles called the Trim and the Slane castles. And after we do that, we're going to go over to the west side, the wild west of Ireland, towards Sligo. And I'm not going to go into what we're doing in Sligo. That's going to be another show, because there's something so pure and evil there that we will try to tackle with your protection, right?
Yes.
And then look at the beauty of Sligo. Sligo is just magical, with the tallest cliffs of all of Europe. And we're going to go through all of that down the coastline into a place called Galway. And Galway is on the southern west tip of Ireland, ladies. And this is where the culture of Ireland sits and breathes. The arts, the visual arts, the music, everything. Galway is artist magic. All the little buildings are speckled in different colors. They're all tapestry of art. And we know how much Spirit loves art, right? And the biggest festivals there, and I want you guys to look at this, because are you going to be ready for this? This is the biggest Halloween festival in Ireland, and it's called the Macnas Parade, and here it goes. I'm ready for that.
I'm actually sweating. I'm like,
I told you I'll take the day off that night. I'm taking the day off that day. Thank you.
I'm taking a month off. So I want to pay homage to all the beautiful comments that we've been getting on the chat room. Thank you so much. Gillian, hi, how are you? She's a lovely lady out of Ireland. And she said, it's like a female pig. Sewing. So I like to think of it more of sewing, which is a little better than thinking about a female pig, but that's just my take on it. And thank you, Bill Tandy, for all the explanation about Puka as well.
Yes, so what you sow, you reap. Yep.
Fantastic. I'm sorry?
It's that saying that says what you sow, you reap. So that connects
to the harvest.
Yes.
Yes, very well. See how it all comes together, and we use the power of not spelling phonetics, but more of what it represents, which is very difficult for a ADD brain. Anyway, that being said, Galway is spectacular, and we're gonna kind of go through there and spend some time at the parade, etc. And by the way, one of the things that you do in Puka, which I failed to say, which I think we're going to have to squeeze in either before the tour or during the tour, is create a Puka mask. You know, that's where they wear these masks in order to say, hey, we're part of your tribe. You know, we're part of you. And what fun would that be, huh?
Oh
what a
yeah.
wonderful souvenir that would be. So that being said, so through Sligo down to magical Galway. And then we're going to go into the Midlands. There are no more of the heartlands of the historical heartland of Ireland. And there's a county there called Offaly. And Offaly has a few castles there. Now, I'm not sure why the county of Offaly has the most magical and spirit enriched castles in the world.
Oh,
Together, they are a megalithic site. One of them is known to many as the most haunted castle in all of Ireland, and that's called Lep Castle.
Mm.
Are we ready for this? A
yes.
couple of here. I'm going to show you. I'll give you a little preview of Lep Castle. It's going to include Sean, who is the owner of Lep, and he's an absolute darling man, a musician in heart, so a traditionalist. So here we go.
Well, there are many spirits in the house, yeah. They've never interfered or made life difficult in any way other than they let us know that they're here. We see a lot of them. Sometimes to be as clearly as I'd see you, sometimes, or a lot of the time, it'll be like a haze or an aura around them, or maybe just around part of them. Down here then, or mostly down here anyway, we meet with a lady and she touches people. We call her the governess, and she's usually around as well. And there are two little girls that play around here that we meet a lot, and she's always with them. And we have a feeling she had something to do with them, but we have no record of any of that, you know, because it was burned down in 1922. So, any records that would have been lost in the fire. And a lot of our visitors experience that. It's like somebody brushing off you. There was a lady there, sometime at the end of last year, she was a Swedish lady, and she described it. It happened over there on that side. She described it. She thought it was a dog or something that passed and rubbed off her. That was her first reaction or thought or whatever, you know. But it was for almost everybody that would experience that. It would be a first time experience for them. But they amaze themselves as to how calmly they react to it, you know. They don't feel threatened by it, as we don't, you know. So it's all good. We hear them. We tend to hear them, I suppose, at night time a fair bit. Now it's not a nighttime thing only, it's just so quiet when we lock up, and it's like it's footsteps, people walking around, doors opening and closing. But we hear a good bit of, it'd be like a lot of people in another room talking. Now you can't make out what's being said or anything like that, but the thing about that But say you heard it coming from down that corridor, and you're sure that it's down there. When you go down there, it's not. It'll be someplace else. You know, you'll never actually be at it.
Sean. He's a lovely, lovely man. I've spoken to him a few times, and every time I speak to him, he always has to play the flute for me. So, just a sweet old chap. But the place is, Leb Castle is incredible. We didn't speak about some of the negatives there, and
I was gonna say we need to go further down. Something's going on
yes,
down there. So
yes,
The pit
yes, yes.
down
Yeah.
a pit,
There's
like
a
you
pit.
said.
And there's a
Well,
little
that's the murder hole, ladies. And a few years back, they were doing some renovations, and it was covered up for a long time. And I want to explain what a murder hole was used for. It's basically to murder you. I mean, that was when you knew you were, the worst
Yeah.
place you can be. The second worst place is a dungeon. The worst place is in front of a murder hole. And what they would have is spikes that came out, and of course, on the bottom, it would be all your previous murder hole attendees and their bones and scraps and rats, etc. It was a horrible, torturous leap to your death. No pun
Yeah.
intended. Yeah, and so yes, you're sensing that. There's also the Bloody Chapel where two brother killed another as he was celebrating mass, and it was a disgruntled issue, and those two are known to be there, and they're not happy campers. But I want to tell you about one special thing there that you will pick up, and Michelle probably, because she tends to see the darkness, is a horrific elemental called it. It's
I know about
IT.
that one. Yeah.
You
Well,
want
and
to
we
expel on what
we
you
don't
know
wanna
about it
talk
and
about
what
it.
you
No,
feel
yeah,
about
we
it,
don't.
or
Well, it's one of those that, you really don't discuss it here. It's
Mhm.
something that we'd have to be there so we can control it before we actually make, contact with it.
Yeah.
But I did just tell Catherine as she was saying is something going down, she was actually, I was kind of getting the whole, there's something really dark down there
Yeah.
and it's not human. So I was like, well, here we go.
See, I knew about that one.
We're going for a
I was saying,
ride.
yeah, I knew about it.
See, and I know nothing about all this, so it's kind of like when we go, you're going to get us raw. I
Yeah.
mean, this is not something we've traveled or we've spent time or we did any of this. So when we say what we're seeing and what we're doing, you're going to experience the same time we are.
And we don't sugar your ears, girls.
We
and
do not
boys,
sugar
we'll
it.
say it straight.
Well, I certainly look forward to that. I mean, absolutely, that's insane how
Mhm.
that place is, and they're not alone. We're going to visit a few of the castles around that area. Um, Kinnity is another one. There's one that will be not known to many, that is just being discovered, and I'm not going to get into specifics on that. In fact, there's two that have that are part of the circuit of County Offaly, but they're not known to many paranormal investigators. So we're happy to be bringing those over to you as well. So we'll give some time when the veil is the thinnest and when the most haunted lands within Ireland. So yeah, so that's kind of fun, right? I can't wait to get you girls there. So yeah, it's gonna be incredible. Dublin is, as you know, the capital of Ireland, and it's full of life, and we are not leaving Ireland without spending a couple of days there. And we're going to go to some of the most haunted pubs and eateries, and just have a really fantastic time, especially around Halloween, where it opens its arms and doors, arms to all the folks that come in, whether they're tourists and whether they're residents of Dublin. Halloween is a special time in Dublin, so we'll make sure it's a big part of that as well. One of the things I'm going to show you, we're going to get a little bit quirky here, a little bit more out of the scope of supernatural into the outer natural.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, how about little Dracula in Dublin?
Whoa.
Oh, let's do it. Where is it? Here it is.
Welcome to Castle Dracula. My name is Renfield and I live here in the castle. It's not much to look at, but it's home. Bram Stoker's been dead for over 100 years. On his deathbed, his wife Florence cut a lock of his hair. It hangs in a gold pendant right here beside you. Bram's whole life is laid out in here. But you'll have more chance to explore that later. Now, it's time for the castle.
My name is Lucy, and I'm your friend. You're all very welcome to Castle Dracula. Welcome to the Haunted Library. I have traveled 1,000 years to be with you here now. I am a bride of his. Then, alas.
If I could do all that, well then I surely would be a vampire. And the last thing you'd see before you went to sleep, staring out of the dark, is my face smiling back at you. Good night. Thank you. And sweet dreams.
So please
So we
tell
have to
me
have a
this
little
girl's
fun.
not going to jump at us. Right?
It's actually a very, very respected and applauded theatrical presentation. And it all revolves the life of Bram Stoker and as well as his documentation of Dracula. It comes to life. It really is done very well. It's not a shock horror house thing. I don't
Okay.
do well with that. It's more theatrical, and it's been critiqued as one of the best things to do in Dublin, especially around the Halloween era. So we have to go there and have fun. So in between the pubs, etc., we'll take some time to do that as well. So a little bit of everything, huh? Leprechauns, you know, your manjis, your pukas, your
Unicorns.
fairies,
Don't
your
forget the unicorns.
And the
and-
Unicorns.
Okay, we're gonna find every one of them and some
Yes.
monsters as well. Okay, is that okay? Can we do that?
I like the monsters too.
Okay, let's do some monsters. Yeah,
The trolls.
The trolls.
The trolls.
trolls. Yes. Well, we have enough days to do that. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just formally announce that on October 26th of this year, we're heading to Ireland. We'll start up in Dublin, circle around as we did to the Puka Festival, Sligo, Galway, into the county of Offaly, and then back to Dublin to celebrate 9 magical days of Halloween in Ireland. And there's never been really such a tightly fit and well appropriated itinerary curated for this, because it does include all the mysteries of not just Ireland. We're doing lots of Ireland trips. This one is penetrated and infused with the celebration of Samhain. And that is what makes it so spectacular. Yeah. So, guys, there's a little offering that we're doing. We just launched this off, didn't we, ladies? Right, a few days
Yes.
ago. So we do have a promo code that if you go and look at our booking, you can get off $150 off. It's only going to be the first 5 because it's a nice little thing. So here's our here we go. Our there. What happened to it? Everything's going crazy. No suspicions of malfunctioning here. So it's Bit.ly Ireland Halloween Doc and then dash 2002. And I think it's also on our, thank you for putting that up there, guys. It's also on our comments. If you can jump in there and look at the itinerary, it's everything we spoke about and much, much more. We only really covered the tip of the iceberg, didn't we, ladies? So, yeah.
Yes. But we don't want to give everything up front, you know. I mean, it's an experience that we can show the videos, give them an idea, but until they stand on the land and live it and be part of those things and really open up, it's gonna be an experience, not just your normal, like I said, or if you go on a regular travel tour. This is actually gonna push your spirit side, your soul up a couple of notches and really put you out there. So, if you're empathic or sensitive or have nothing, you're still going to be able to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit for everyone, those that are totally into and want to open up their metaphysical side. Where else to do it better than Ireland during the time when the veil is the thinnest? So it's an opportunity there. But for those that want to just experience the magic of Samhain or Halloween, with all the Celtic festivals and experiences, the arts, the music, etc., it's a true delight for your eyes and senses, all your senses.
Oh, so, absolutely.
Yeah, it's we weren't going to do this until maybe we'll do it again in 23, but take on it this year because this year is going to be special. These guys that do these productions have been cooped up for the last 2 years and they can't wait to bring it to life again. So it's going to be very special. So like a cry of relief, a cry of love, which brings me into discussion of what are the COVID regulations going into Ireland. And the answer is zilch. There's none. You could be vaccinated. You can be unvaccinated. They don't care. They don't want to see your vaccination records. You don't have to test to go inside. It's like pre-COVID. Everything is down. They feel like they've controlled the disease. They feel secured about it. Their population is well vaccinated. So they want us to come out and live, breathe, and experience Ireland again. There is a coming back to USA until things change, which I'm assuming by October it will. A required negative test is done, is requested. Going in, those are USA, no matter where we travel to. Those are the regulations.
I had to get that coming here as well. Like last week, I just did a rabbit test and came through.
Yep. And we facilitate that too. And we're not going to go into specifics about that. You can email me about that. But we make that process easy and painless. So it doesn't really interfere with your enjoyment of your holiday time in Ireland. So, ladies, I'm going to show one more film before we part today, because this one puts the essence of Halloween in Ireland into a magical sphere that made me almost choke with emotion. And I'm hoping that you guys will get it. And when you get it, you'll come with us. So let's see this wonderful video that we have here for you. Get ready.
This is an ancient story of fire, about accessing other worlds. A If a dark spark ignites the pyre, we may see beyond our thresholds. It's a mystical, a cyclical ending of the Celtic New Year, a witching our ritual of water, earth, air and fire. Where old phantom shapeshifter queens are flanked by fiery ravens, on an earthly scene to be seen, a thinning of the veil, a breach of the heavens. We sense the cold drawn to our bones when autumnal leaves have fallen. So we gather together, leave our homes to see what ghosts and ghouls are coming. Where a mischievous Barjarig will be lit by a Celtic knot, riding on the back of a stag like a nightmare you forgot. But the Boyne flows strong with courage, and Goddess Bowen inspires light. From her salmon we get knowledge, and a hazel tree gave new insight. Druids gather to ward off evil. Atop a ring fort on the hill of Ward, these tales are ancestral, primeval, and told still by every bard. The puka is a changeling spirit with lagomorphic golden eyes, who knows your very darkest secret, and with good and bad takes no sides. We all must face the dark sometimes and live in the liminal space. When on October dusk and dawn rhymes, the earthly rhythm changes pace. Where no spirit can be vanquished, it's a supernatural sight. Now all but one flame is extinguished on Iha Hewan, our darkest night.
Oh, there we go. Join us in Ireland. We love to have you there. Ladies, I want to give you the rest of the show to share a little bit of your feelings about this trip and why it's important to you.
It feels like it's home.
Yeah.
It feels like we're going back to our roots.
Yes.
Connecting with our ancestors, connecting with all the elementals. Don't forget, all religions, all pagan religions, are exactly the same. Like, I was looking at the symbols of the puka, and that's actually the symbol of Hecate.
Oh,
Yeah.
So everything boils down to being one whole.
yeah.
So it's going to be very exciting. I can feel it.
Me too. We're over here like we're actually really sweating, and the energy is pumping through us so much that, we were touching things. We're like, okay, where's this coming from?
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wanted to throw something out there, Maria, if that's okay. Like our Scotland tour, how you made it so easy for people to be able to invest in something like this for the celebrations and all that. This is something they're going to be able to do with this tour. It is just get that deposit in, have $150 off, but be able to pay it monthly so it becomes something easy for you to do and be able to experience all this. Everybody's going to walk away with something different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be really exciting to hear, when we're doing the festivals, how did it affect each one? What are they taking back? It's going to hit someone, more in their soul. But, the way we're looking at all this, these are tours that people can actually go on. This is not one where they say we have to save for 2-3 years, because what you do is make it so anybody can actually come, and it's very affordable. And doing it on a monthly, payment plan, guys, this is something, you can join us. And I watched it work with Scotland. It was so easy for people. We have people on that trip that never thought they would ever leave the US.
Yeah.
They thought it was not a thing.
Yeah.
And to see what the excitement of coming
Yes.
I know this will be the
We're-
same thing.
We're
and it's
building
amazing.
that bridge. We'll build
Yes.
building that bridge. It's just as easy, believe it or not, to go to Ireland as it is California. It's the same
Yeah.
distance, travel distance. So it is special. I also want to make note, and this is very important to me, because this is an acknowledgement. The largest and most, in my opinion, the most respected directory of all that is haunted in the British Islands, including Ireland, is sponsoring this trip, and that's Spooky
Oh,
Isles.
that's right.
Yes,
And
yes.
let me tell you, that's so exciting because they can choose any tour, and
Yes.
they just are infatuated with our itineraries. In fact, he was part of building that itinerary. So David, the proprietor of Spooky Isles, will be spending some time on our tour as well.
Oh,
So,
That's exciting.
and he brings in all the special history and all the legends of Ireland right into our tour. So thank you so much, Spooky Isles, for doing this.
you.
We appreciate
Yes.
that. We appreciate the honor of having you support our tour. And above all, thank you, the Daughters of Hecate, for making this experience out of this world. I cannot imagine two more precious metaphysical workers to be part of this, because you're more than metaphysical. You're also loving, and you're caring, and you devote yourself to your craft, and that makes it especially incredible. So thank you, and thank you for everybody that has supported Mysterious Adventure Tours through these months. I know it's our first year after incredible 2 years of challenges with COVID. The world is opening, and history is opening, and the adventure continues, and we hope that you will be part of that. Gotta get you to Ireland. Gotta get you to Ireland and
Yes.
Halloween. And hopefully we'll see you there. And may God bless you. And I'm going to go ahead. You guys can tune off if you wish. I'm going to replay that last video we just did. But this time, I want you to really pay attention to its message, because it's amazing. All right. God bless you all. And see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Okay.
This is an ancient story of fire, about accessing other worlds. If a dark spark ignites the pyre, we may see beyond our thresholds. It's a mystical, a cyclical ending of the Celtic New Year, a witching our ritual of water, earth, air and fire. Where old phantom shapeshifter queens are flanked by fiery ravens, on an earthly scene to be seen, a thinning of the veil, a breach of the heavens. We sense the cold drawn to our bones when autumnal leaves have fallen. So we gather together, leave our homes to see what ghosts and ghouls are coming. Where a mischievous Barjarik will be lit by a Celtic knot, riding on the back of a stag like a nightmare you forgot. But the Boyne flows strong with courage, and Goddess Bowen inspires light. From her salmon we get knowledge, and a hazel tree gave new insight. Druids gather to ward off evil. Atop a ring fort on the Hill of Ward, these tales are ancestral, primeval, and told still by every bard. Puka is a changeling spirit with lagomorphic golden eyes, who knows your very darkest secret, and with good and bad takes no sides. We all must face the dark sometimes and live in the liminal space. When on October dusk and dawn rhymes, the earthly rhythm changes pace. Where no spirit can be vanquished, it's a supernatural sight. Now all but one flame is extinguished on Iha Hewan, our darkest night.